Hello, good morning, everyone. So let's have our daily briefing for today. And let's have a quick market recap on last Friday's data. So last Friday, there's a lot of data. So first things, we have the retail sales for Germany, yearly base for the month of August. So the previous data is 0.4%, and the market forecast at 1.9%. And the actual data is 0.4%. So lower than the market forecast, but the previous one still remains at 0.4%. And we also have the retail sales for Germany as well, monthly basis for the month of August. So the previous data is negative 4.5%, and the market forecast at 1.5%. And for the actual data, it's 1.1%. So lower than the market forecast, but it beats the previous data. And you also have the manufacturing PMI for Germany as well for the month of September. So previous and market forecast, same at 58.5. But for the actual data, it was slightly lower at 58.4. Followed by the PMI data for UK, month of September. So the previous and forecast, same at 56.3. But for the actual data, it was 57.1. So it beats the previous data in the market forecast. But however, after the release, this one did not create any significant move for the pound against the dollar, to be specific. And we also have the inflation rate for Eurozone, yearly basis for the month of September. So previous data was 3%, and the market forecast at 3.3%. And for the actual data, it was 3.4%. So it beats the market forecast in the previous data as well. But however, this one is actually the record high for yearly basis for the month of September. If we're going to focus on the chart right here, this one was actually their highest since right here, 3%. And next one is we have the GDP or gross domestic product for Canada, monthly basis for the month of July. And the previous data is 0.6%. And the market forecast at negative 0.2%. And the release time last Friday, 8:30 p.m. And for the actual data, it was negative 0.1%. So beats the market forecast, but this one is way lower compared to the previous one, since this one is actually a negative figure for the GDP for Canada. And we also have the manufacturing PMI for Canada as well for the month of September. So the previous data is 57.2. And for the actual data, it was 57. So lower than the previous data as well. And last one is we have the manufacturing PMI for US, month of September. So the previous data is 59.1 or 59.9 rather, I'm sorry. And the market forecast is 59.6. And for the actual data, it was 61.1. So it beats the market forecast and the previous data as well. But however, for this one, it did not create any move, to be specific, on the dollar index. And for today's economic data, as usual, for Monday and Tuesday, there's nothing much, but we have to focus on the US and the European shares for the week. And for today, October 4, we have the S&P or the Sinopec, or they call this one the China Petroleum Chemical as well. And on Tuesday, we have the PepsiCo or PIP for our stock name. So first things, we have the S&P or the Sinopec. So the last August 27 rather, they've recorded their EPS around 2.35, and it beats the market forecast at 2.42. But however, if we are going to pay attention on the chart, obviously it was actually pretty messy for the S&P, but I will not give any line or the range right here, but rather we are going to focus on the PepsiCo or the PEP. So last April 15, they've recorded 1.21 EPS, and also for the month of July 13, 1.72. So for the month of April and July, they beat the market forecast for the EPS. But however, for October 5, the Pepsi is actually expected to be, or the EPS is expected to be at 1.73, which is higher compared on the previous EPS, which is 1.72. And also, if they've recorded the 1.73 for this month, then this will be their highest for almost a couple of months right here. So the highest was 1.72. But again, if they recorded 1.73, this will be their highest since last year. And if we're going to pay attention to the chart for the Pepsi, so the current price of Pepsi during this Asian session is 150.86 per share. But however, the trend for the Pepsi for the past couple of months is still on the decline right here. But based on our trend line, then right here is based on the technical analysis. If the price drops on our current range at 150 and 149.50, then it may rebound from here. But alternative scenario, if the EPS did not beat the expectation, then we can see a more decline or below at 149.50. So for the daily range, for the resistance, we have 153 and 152.50, and support is 150 and 149.50, respectively. So again, for this week, or for Monday and Tuesday again, we don't expect any significant data that can affect the market. But for this week, we have to focus on the NFP data and also the interest rate decision for Australia and other notable data like inflation rate, unemployment data for CAD. So we have to pay attention for this week. Then we can expect that the market will be very volatile. Okay. All right. So that's all for our daily briefing today. Thank you everyone for joining. Stay safe and have a great day.